Hello again, it's time for the Are We Live song, and Zoom says I'm live. Let me just let Facebook catch up. How are you all today? It's nearly the end of January. Feels like it's really flown in for me. I don't know about everyone else. The year just started in my mind. Let me just check I'm live. I am live indeed. The usual caveats of there's a slight delay between what I'm saying. Oops. There's a slight delay between what I'm saying and when I hear from it. So yeah, this is another Friday Live, Fitness and Mindset Made Simple. For those of you who don't already know me, I'm Shona, and I am a fitness and mindset coach who doesn't like the gym, is the kind of headline. So I hear a lot of people say they don't have the time, they don't know what they need to do, and I actually think time, especially at the moment when we're staying in the house, we all feel like we should be able to do, and I'm going to use the word should a few times in this session because it is the pressure we put on ourselves. But a lot of us have this, like, I should be doing this, that next thing, I should be doing this much, I should be able to fit it all in because I'm not doing all of the other stuff that I usually do in peace times. I call it peace times. Slightly ironically, I don't know about you, but I feel like sometimes I've been in a bit of a war with myself. So we can put so much pressure on ourselves, even though things are different right now. One thing I saw at the beginning of the pandemic was you're not working from home, you're at home during a pandemic trying to work. And the same absolutely applies to our fitness. And hopefully this live will just help you kind of normalize how much is the right amount for you and your current goals. So I would love to know if you're watching, if you're catching the replay, tell me you're here, say hello. And as a slight aside before I get into it, if you would like a summary of these videos, I know that things are busy, especially for homeschooling and things like that. If you would like a summary of each of these Friday Lives, you can click the link in the description and you can sign up. It's one email a week. It's I'm not selling at the moment, so it's a little bit more low key. Obviously, GDPR styles, there's a check button there. You can always unsubscribe. I will tell you how you can work with me because let's face it, that's my job. But I only send you emails that I think will really help you. So if you want to get these summaries, please click the link, sign up, and let's keep in touch. So, how much should I be exercising? I'm going to look at this from 3 different perspectives today. And with all of these, it has to fit in with your life and your objectives and the things that you have to fit your life around. So if, for example, you're homeschooling, this is probably going to have a little bit of a different equation from if you are like me and you live by yourself. So the first perspective we're going to look at is for health. And when I say for health, I mean we're going with the NHS guidelines. And you might think you have to do like an hour every day or have to walk 10,000 steps every day to be healthy. The 10,000 steps numbers actually are a bit arbitrary. I've not ever found research that says 10,000 is the magic number. I think it's just quite a satisfying number to get to. But if we have a look at the kind of consistency and our ability to actually reach our goals, that's more likely to help us improve than setting an arbitrary 10,000 step goal. So for health, according to the NHS guidelines, and I have my notes here, according to our NHS guidelines, we want to be doing 2.5 hours of moderate aerobic or strength training. That's moderate. That's going for a 4 or 5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of our effort. That's going for like you can keep having a conversation during it. It's quite nice. You can do it for quite an extended period of time. This is what we want to do for 2.5 hours. That's half an hour every day of the week. That's going for a walk 3 days a week and then doing some resistance training for half an hour in your lunch break. That's the most that the kind of guidelines say. That's the highest level of guidelines say for health. Of course, if you're enjoying yourself and you want to do more, that's always an option. That's always allowed. But as a starting point, I think that's pretty achievable for most of us. And this is where reframing what exercise is helps too, because if you run around the house cleaning for, say, half an hour on a Monday, you're doing some moderate aerobic exercise. So you can include things like that as your exercise. I'm not sure if I froze it on Facebook. Let me just refresh this. I'm not sure if it's still speaking to me. If I'm back, let me know. If everything has gone missing, let me know as well. So that's 2.5 hours moderate. If we up that to vigorous So this is more intense. This is looking at your kind of 6, 7, 8, maybe a 9 if we're going crazy. This is going for much more resistance. Then we're looking at 1 hour and 15 minutes a week to improve our health markers. So these are guidelines on the NHS website. This is what the NHS is saying. For health, this is a really good amount of exercise. You can also do a mixture of the two, so you can fall somewhere in between that hour and a quarter and that 2.5 hours. If you're mixing up some moderate stuff with some vigorous stuff, which to me sounds more fun. So you can mix it up and do it that way. But for health, that's not a bad number. How does that sound? Does that sound achievable? Is that what you expected it to be? Is it higher? Is it lower? So I think if we partition that out, we can find something within that that will fit most schedules, and you're likely doing more towards these numbers than you think you are as well. So this is pretty good. Running around after kids, like you could do 2.5 hours moderate cardio in a day running after children. So that's the first perspective for our health. Not bad. 2.5 hours moderate, 1.25 hours vigorous, or somewhere in the middle of that sliding scale. That's all right. We can do that. The second place I wanted to look at this from was for maintenance. Now, before I get into this, I just want to know, even if you're catching the replay, let me know, do you panic about losing what you've gained as soon as you stop exercising? Do you worry that you're going to lose everything really quickly and it's going to be gone forever? It's going to be really hard to get it back. Because I certainly used to. I really panicked. This lockdown has done wonders for like my ability to be like, it's okay, we just can't do as much right now. So your body doesn't actually need a huge amount of time to take over. Obviously, we will kind of lose the kind of rhythm and the habits and things like that come with very regular training. But if we're looking at maintaining our strength, we can go for, depending on how your body responds, you can have about 2 weeks, like 2 weeks to 2 months of just doing one kind of fairly light resistance session a week to maintain a level. When it comes to our cardio, if we do kind of one kind of normal intensity session a week, we maintain the level of red blood cells in our body, we maintain a level of cardiovascular fitness. If you stick at that for longer than that, your body's going to realize that actually we don't need this as much, so it will downregulate a bit. But that's a really long time to go without significant gains. And what we tend to find with strength training in particular, so this resistance training, is our nervous system that kind of goes on holiday before our muscles do. So we have one session where we come back in, it feels pretty crap. We come into the next one, it feels a good bit better. That's because our nervous system is starting to be like, oh, yeah, I remember this game, and gets back into the swing of things. So when we want to just maintain a level, we can drop back quite far. So for example, if you're maintaining flexibility as opposed to developing it, you can hold a stretch for 10 to 15 seconds. For development, we're going for 30 to 45 to a minute for most stretches. So that's quite a significant reduction just for maintenance and flexibility alone. And strength and cardio do follow a similar pattern, where we don't need to do as much as we necessarily think to maintain a level of performance or fitness. Obviously, if this starts dropping below the 4 health markers, we maybe want to step it back up. But if you're really stressed at work and you're really, like, so say you managed to do that thing you've been trying to do for ages and you're really worried about losing it, just do it on a Saturday for like half an hour. Just keep that little thing in, keep checking in. It'll not feel the same as when you're in the groove and doing it regularly, but it'll keep you ticking over a level that you can come back to quite comfortably. And the third perspective is for development. This is when we're actually pushing our abilities and aiming to increase what we can do and push ourselves to reach a specific goal. So for me at the moment, I'm really working on my back and shoulder flexibility. So I need to do a little bit more than just our maintenance stretches. But even for our development, it's probably not as much as you'd expect. If you're looking at developing something, so say you're looking at getting stronger through your press-ups, for example, how often do you think you should be training press-ups if you want to increase your strength through them? Just let me know in the comments, have a think. Let me know what you think about increasing your strength in press-ups. Do you think it's an everyday thing, an every other day thing, an every week thing? How often would you train your press-ups to increase your strength at performing them? Because it's probably not as much as you think. The thing that development really needs is a good relationship between effective and appropriate stress and effective and appropriate rest. So the equation for development is not stress, 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 it's stress plus rest. So when we're looking at developing a skill, sleep becomes super productive. I don't know about you guys, but when you're really physically active, do you sleep better or do you sleep better? Because this is a huge part of our body recovery mechanism, and it's a huge part of this development equation. So if you're looking at increasing the strength of your press ups, I would suggest maybe a session on a Monday and a session on a Thursday. We want to have a decent amount of rest in between. We don't want to be putting pressure on the exact same muscle groups multiple days in a row. We want to be varying the pressure, we want to be varying the groups we're using. Between this Monday and Thursday, you're still going to use your arms. You might use your arms in other exercises, for example, some overhead work, or you might do some flexibility work, or you might do something more dynamic, some yoga, some of that to keep the muscles moving. But we're not going to push them into that strength zone again until they've had a few days rest to recover. So this is where, for development, a lot of us think we need to do more. Quite often what we need to do is find out more effective ways to train. So if we're more effective, we'll be quicker at doing it, we'll see results quicker, and we also get into that stress and rest cycle that is so important for any kind of high performance, whether it's high performance in terms of managing an injury, which I know that is a challenge in itself, managing an injury, managing a health condition, managing your energy levels. We need this cycle of stress and rest. And for example, I at most train pole twice a week. Pole is my favorite sport in the entire universe. And when I am really fit and on the ball, I will train pole twice a week. And that's it. And I want to leave a big gap between them. So I would do kind of a Wednesday, Saturday, or like a Thursday, Sunday. I never do Monday for some reason. Early in the week doesn't feel like pole time. But I leave quite big gaps between those sessions because I know my body needs the time to recover, and I need to do the other kind of accessory exercises like opening my shoulders and flexibility work and cardio to supplement that. And honestly, I probably wouldn't spend more than 4.5 to 5 hours a week training. That's at the most. That's when I'm really on the ball, when I'm really pushing it, when I'm performing really highly, when I'm expecting to compete or perform in an ideal world. The reality is that I probably do at the moment at least. And if you find you're plateauing, if you find you're getting stuck, if you find you're not pressing on, if you find you're always working out and nothing is happening, let's chat, because this is a really common thing. We all think that more is better, but actually better is more effective. So what do you think about your training? Do you think your training is effective? Do you think you're getting those stress rest cycles? How does that kind of development perspective feel for you? And again, I'm not giving you exact numbers. These are more like the kind of concepts to think about, but if you want me to take a look at your training, let me know and we can talk. So just a summary, for health, between 1.25 and 2.5 hours, depending on the intensity. Easy, right? We can do that. We can definitely do that. For maintenance, keep it ticking over once a week. Keep touching, just have a look at it. Don't let it fall into don't let it fall into the fray, don't lose it completely, but just keep it ticking over and know that when you come back, your nervous system will respond and you will get back into it. So maintenance can be pretty lazy. It's good. And then for our development, we want to make sure our training is effective. So if you're worried about how effective your training is, let's chat, because these stress rest cycles not only save us time and money and effort, but they also increase the quality of the results we'll get. So if you want that summary in your inbox, click that button in the description. So get the fitness and mindset made simple emails each week. So Thursday at 4 o'clock, it just pop in, quick summary, job done. And let me know, how does this change how you feel about how much exercise you do? Does it feel good? Does it feel not so good? Let me know. I would love to hear your take on this. And I will see you again next Thursday. I will let you know the topic for next Thursday in that Thursday email. Next Thursday. Sorry. I will see you again next Friday. And I'll let you know the topic for next Friday in that email on Thursday, and I'll post it in the group on Thursday as well. So I will see you all then. Have a lovely weekend. Feel free to ask me questions, send me comments, messages, whatever is going on. Let me know. Keep in touch. I love hearing from you all. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.